Good evening everyone and welcome along to TTML. We are here for Division 2 action, Season 4, Round 7 of the Championship as we take in the Russian Grand Prix from the Sochi Autodrome. My name is James Head, of course, taking you through the stream as always on a Thursday night, and joining me in the commentary box, it is Mr. EML Premier finishing 10th position, Mr. Michael Edwards. Mike, how you doing?
I am doing great, buzzing off last night, but we're here tonight at Sochi and it's going to be a very interesting race. Track limits, very crucial around this 18 corner, 5.8 kilometer circuit.
Yeah, it's going to be a real interesting one, I'm sure, out on track. Of course, if you missed what happened last week in Belgium, let me remind you, Jonas on top, Noisy second, Mad Jonas in third. What did that do to the championship? Well, nothing really changed in the whole grand scheme of things. TDB on 110 points leading the championship coming into tonight. Isotopic is 9 points behind on 101. Noisy is 13 points behind TDB in third on 97. Mad Jonas fourth on 88, and this is where it gets quite interesting. CR7 in fifth on 86. Wesker in sixth on 84. 4 points separating fourth down to sixth. LMN, who's been very unlucky by his standards this season, in 7th on 77. Jonas in 8th on 74. Cam in 9th on 61. And Jorgen 10th on 60 points. Looking down the rest of the field, of course, we have a Beauty Boy in 11th on 50. Vettel 12th on 48. Funky Chicken 13th on 47. Cowboy 14th on 41. Sway in 15th on 39. Magnus in 16th on 34. Matt Tibble 17th on 32. Special 18th on 15. Jack in 19th on 12. He is back tonight in the Renault. And Lucky Lars, who's got a qualifying ban if he does attend, he's in 20th as well on 12 points. And coming into tonight, Mike, TDB down to Noisy, separated by 13 points. Mad Jonas down to Wesker, separated by 4 points, fourth down to sixth. Honestly, this is one of the tightest Division 2s I think we've seen in TTML history.
Yeah, it is incredibly tight, and that just goes to show that this season a lot of drivers have been very up and down so far this season. There's not been a lot of consistency going on, so really right now it's still all to play for.
It is all to play for, and I'm sure it is going to be fascinating to see out on track how this is, of course, all going to unfold. Of course, around a 5.8 kilometre circle like the Sochi Autodrome, just minutes away, literally, from the Black Sea. And hopefully we're going to be providing you with the great action that we so deserve, of course, here in TTML Division 2. To run quickly through the constructors just before we begin, Ferrari leading the way on 175 points in first, McLaren second on 160, Alfa Romeo third on 157, Mercedes in fourth on 131, Haas and Williams tied for fifth on 116, Red Bull seventh on 111, AlphaTauri eighth on 80, Racing Point in ninth on 50, and Renault in 10th on 27 points. Ferrari have got a 15 points advantage coming into tonight, Mike, over McLaren. How do you see things going in qualifying?
Well, I mean, the Ferrari as a pairing have been the most consistent pairing we've had this season so far. However, that battle for second, there's only 3 points separating Alfa Romeo and McLaren.
Yeah, it is, and Alfa Romeo and McLaren very close, and I mean there's 18 points separating the top three constructors with a lot still to play for in the championship going into the final 4 rounds, including tonight. We hope, by the way, that we are going to get graphics back next week. I'll say that first and foremost. Honey Badger, of course, Tom in the graphics department does a wondrous thing with all of these graphics. Hopefully they'll be fixed. Hopefully they'll be ready for Tuesday night for TTML Division 1. If they're not, then you might see it for TTML Division 2 next Thursday. So I'm just throwing out there, we could have graphics, of course, next week, all being well, and hopefully they're all fixed in time, in good time, for the racing next week, of course, for TTML Division 1 and Division 2. Looking down the grid, I see a brand new driver, TRT_Zong. The Dutchman is debuting here as a reserve, of course. And looking at the driver lineup, I'm just trying to see, as my iPad is playing very weird things on me here. Zong is actually a full-time driver in Racing Point, so he's alongside Funky Chicken. Jonas has already left the session, but we've got dry qualifying by the looks.
Yeah, blue skies here in Sochi. Tionas, he's gonna need to get back into the lobby as soon as possible. I might actually shoot him an extra invite now, just so we can get back into the lobby.
Yeah, that'll be the wisest decision, I definitely think. Of course, we want to see Tiona's, of course, race winner in Belgium last time out. Hopefully, going to be doing some justice, of course, out on track once again. Cam is one of the first men out on track. I think it's one of the Racing Point, actually, that is first out on track. It's Funky Chicken running down the pit lane along with the Williams, who I believe might be Mr. Wesker, who is coming out the pit lane first. Mr. Wesker? That doesn't really make sense. Wesker is coming out the pit lane on the run down in towards turn 2. You can see the dust being kicked off on the inside. That is just purely because nobody has been out on track just yet, and the invalidate's already coming out through turns 2 and 3. But Wesker is the man first out on track, and looking at him in the standings, he is 6th coming into tonight on 84 points. 4 points behind Mad Jonas, 2 points behind CR7, who was very, very unlucky last week in Belgium as well. Wesker has had good qualifying so far this season. Is that more of the norm here tonight, do you think?
Well, Russia's a very difficult track to get a lap together, as track limits are absolutely atrocious around here. Very easy to just nip over the limits of the track and invalidate your lap times more than what happened in Bahrain in real life F1.
Yeah, definitely. Chonis has managed to join back into the session, which I'm very glad to report. Wesker is coming down in towards turn 13 and through 14. TTML Division 1 was quite a weird race. We had a lot of DNFs there in TTML Division 1 on Tuesday night. Of course, if you didn't catch the action then, go and watch it back after this. TTML Division 2, though, is the prime spot, and Wesker is now going to prepare up for his lap, coming out of the final 2 corners through turn 17 and then through turn 18, and he's now set us about a lap of 5.8 kilometres in length, 2 DRS zones, 1 down towards turn 2, 1 down in towards turn 13, and already he opens up that first DRS zone on the King through turn 1, now runs down in towards turn number 2 around the Olympic Park, of course, here in Sochi, played host to the 2014 Winter Olympics. Clip the wall on the outside there through turn 2, through turn 3, and that's why you don't clip the wall, you already invalidate your lap. Funky Chicken is the man that is actually behind him, out on track, and we're going to see what he is going to do on this lap. Now coming through turn 4, this left-hander, the Fish Stadium to the left-hand side, literally on the left-hand side there. Funky Chicken now coming through turn 5, the Ice Hockey Arena to the left-hand side, plenty of fans gracing the Sochi Autodrome here. 32.8 through the first sector from Funky Chicken, not too bad whatsoever. He now looks towards turn number 8, and then through the double left, of course, of turns 9 and 10. We saw quite a few invalidations. Perpetuum picking up an invalidation, of course, there in TTML Division 1, through turn 10, and now through turn 11. Olympic Village, straight in front of the drivers. Now Funky Chicken comes through turn 11, and now through the kink at 12, and on the runner towards turn 13. Noisy is fastest out of everyone by the looks in the first sector. CR7, 32.6. in the first sector, I think as fastest of everyone. Funky Chicken through the middle sector, 31.3. So he's there or thereabouts, and of course it's about a 20-second final sector around here, and Funky Chicken now comes through up the hill and toward 15. Very, very tight on the braking point. Now comes through 16, and then runs in towards the final 2 corners. Ran out wide there slightly, didn't pick them in invalidation. I think it's going to be a 130 to begin off the night. So Funky Chicken runs to the final 2 corners, and it's going to be a 130.4 to begin off the night. But CR7 is on a lap, and he is flying.
Yeah, as I was just on board with Cam, who set his lap time on the medium compound tires, and honestly, that's a strange call in my opinion for Sochi. It's a... Jeez.
CR7 129.5, and I mean he demolished the field last time out in Belgium, of course, in qualifying. But that's just different gravy. He needs to be promoted to Division 1 ASAP, I think. CR7 out on top. Noisy second, Funky Chicken third. And yeah, you were mentioning about Cam on a set of mediums, 31.2.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you would be out on the mediums in qualifying. It's just the strategy around here is just not difficult. The soft medium.
Yeah, soft mediums around here can and well and truly will work, but Cam, I wonder if it's going to be changeable conditions in the race, and that's why I might be going for a set of medium compounded tyres. We'll have to wait and see, of course. CR7 is out on top, 5 minutes gone through qualifying. Noisy in second, Isotopic popped himself up into third there as well. Wesker is on a lap, coming through the final couple of corners, through 16, and then on the run towards turn 17 and 18. FPL Vettel has also just started up on a lap as well, but coming out through the final corner, TDB went fourth as well with a 29.9. 30.9. Wesker across the line at 30.6. Quite disappointing from Wesker standards. Matt Tibos totally cut through turn number 1 and through turn 2 and 3. He's not on the lap at the minute. A Purely Boy is another. That's on a set of mediums, and he's now coming down in towards the final couple of corners. Ella Men is on a lap on a set of softs. Jonas has just started on one. Vettel through the end of the first sector, 32.9. A Purely Boy looks like he's furthest on.
Yeah, I'm currently on board with Element at the moment. It looks like a very smooth lap from the man in the Red Bull, and he's going to be looking for a big result here to really propel himself into this championship fight at the sharp end with the likes of TDB.
31 flat is only a 10th off CR7's middle sector. So, Element, I think with confidence, I can say he's probably going to go second with this lap as he now comes in towards the final couple of corners out on track. A Purely Board, by the way, 32.2, he went 11th. Element, though, ran the final corner, comes across the line with confidence. I'm right. Second position it is, 29.6, with nearly 7 minutes gone.
Yeah, as we got Vettel now through the final sector coming up to the penultimate corner. Let's see how much of the inside curb he takes, and he takes a bit too much, hitting the sausage curb and spinning the car around, and that's an awkward spot to be parked in because he can't get back to the pits from there. He
can't. I wonder if he is just going to get out of the way of a couple of cars that's coming through. No, they're coming into the pit lane, so he has to go back round, and Vettel, very unfortunate, I think, with that position, but it was the rear of the car that actually bounced on the sausage curb. I don't think I've ever really seen that from that camera angle before. The rear of the car actually bounced totally. Vettel is the man, though, who's just starting up on lap. He actually might just go for another one here, and he comes through turn 2 and 3. Matt Tibos, by the way, are you seeing that same glitch as I am? Oh, stop now. Oh, he's just lagging about all over the circuit for me.
He's not for me.
It's sorted now, I think. Oh, Vettel spun! Vettel spun, coming out through turn 6, and he's out of the session. Retired from the session. He got caught on the sausage curb just half a lap ago. And now Vettel is round, coming out through turn 6. Disaster, he got caught on the outside curb and spins the car round.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Vettel, and that just goes to show the nature of this track. And we're seeing a lot of invalidations coming in very quickly, but we're also seeing just how hazardous these curbs can be if you try to take a little bit too much out of them.
Yeah, you can indeed, and of course it is very, very interesting to see how, of course, this session is going to go on. Plenty of traffic coming through the end of the middle sector there, but Sway is coming through towards the end of the middle sector. He's coming down through turn 11 at the Olympic Village corner, through turn 11, now through turn 12, and then on the run down and towards turn 13. We haven't got as many viewers as what we would have hoped. Of course, the F1 Esports Pro Wildcard Exhibition for Women is taking place tonight. I have no problem with that whatsoever. It is fantastic, I think, to see a wildcard entry being produced from the women as well, which is fantastic, and hopefully it will inspire more people to get involved in Formula 1, either in sim racing or indeed in the real world as well. Sway now coming through the final couple of corners though here in TTML Division 2, comes across the line, and he will go into 9th, a 30.4 out on track. Matt Tibos has just started up on a lap, but Jorg coming through the end of the middle sector as Cowboy went 11th with a 30.6.
Yeah, I'm on board with Matt Tibos. He does a 32.6 in the first sector, and it is the fastest first sector that we've seen so far in qualifying.
It is some 500s quicker than LMN, some 600s quicker than CR7 as he now comes through turn number 9, through turn 10, the double left, which I've been caught out plenty of times in my sim racing career, through turn 11 and now through turn 12. The less we say about that mine, the better. CR7 still out on top, LMN second, Noisy is in third, Isotopic fourth. Matibos hit the wall there slightly, 103.6 though through the middle sector, and CR7 responding through the first sector, 32.5. 31 flat from Matt Tibos through the middle sector. So we'll see how CR7's going to lie up to this. But Matt Tibos is on fire here. He comes through turn 16, just gets caught on the outside curb. Doesn't really degrade away too much performance, and now comes through the final couple of corners. I think he's going to go second with this. Matt Tibos now through the final corner to the line, and he does go second. Good lap there from him. CR7 at the end of the middle sector is a 10th and a half up.
Yeah, this is fantastic from CR7 right now as we come through the final sector. These 90-degree corners, very easy just to lose the rear end of the car in the traction of, let me just get the I forget which corners are, 15 and 16. Very easy to lose it there.
And he just improves by 2 1/4 tenths of a second. CR7 out on top at 1:29.3. My catchphrase in the last couple of weeks has been, "Catch me if you can," he cries. I think that's
honest,
appropriate.
I have no words for the catchphrase.
It's probably, I think I've rubbed it from somewhere else. So whoever the author is of that catchphrase, thank you. CR7 down on top. Matt Tibos in second. Elemento has just started up on a lap. Special and Tionis are coming towards the end of their laps as well. Tionis is coming through the final corners, actually through 17 and 18, in fact, and now comes through the final corner. He's going to be there or thereabouts. Comes across the line. He goes 9th, 1:30.1. TDB, by the way, is also on a lap. He's invalidated at this point, but he mentioned in the comments section CR7 has 100% Division 1 pace, and he said it for the last 3 weeks already. Well, he's 7th. CR7 is first.
Yep, and it's a thing, right? You can talk the talk all you want, but you gotta walk the walk. That's the nature of the beast.
I've never heard you say that before, that's why I think I'm laughing. There's a yellow flag coming through the end of the middle sector. There was a Haas just getting out of the way. I think that was CR7 just running out of field. Zong, by the way, on his debut in 6th. Good lap time from him on 1:29.851. Elemento was the man I'm on board with, coming through the end of the middle sector. Oh my god, he's quick. It's a 10th and a half up through the middle sector. He's got to nail this final sector to try and put CR7 under some resemblance of pressure. Are we going to get the CR7 versus Element show here tonight in TTML Division 2? Rides the curb through 16, now in towards 17 and 18. He'll pick up the faintest slipstream of the car coming into play, which is Jack. Jack on a 1:30.5, but Element now toward the line. I think he'll go second. Comes across the line and he's a 10th and a half off CR7, but a good improvement by Element. But CR7 and Element, them two just seem to be the class act in qualifying, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously, it's nice to see Matt Tibos putting in a good performance as well. He's not had the best run of things so far this season, and I was just on board with TDB, who just had a bit of a snap at the start of the middle sector through turns 8 and 9, the double left-hander, and he's back off his lap.
I think F1AMG's got a challenge here. He's coming through the final couple of corners. This is a really quick lap from F1AMG. Comes toward the line and goes 4th. 29.7, good improvement. 3.5 tenths found on his previous lap. And F1AMG goes 4th, the Division 3 champion from last season.
Yep, absolutely fantastic from F1AMG there. Doing a stellar job right now, currently in P4 as we got Isotopic about to start his flying lap, and this man has been very impressive when it comes to racing in the wet. So maybe if there is some changeable conditions here, it might favour Isotopic here.
Cam's a second up through the middle sector. Not surprised with his lap time, mine. And 1:31.2. Nearly catches an oversteer moment coming through 14. Now through 15, just sudden settles the car slightly, rides over the curb through 16. But this is an improvement from Cam that is going to match toward the likes of F1AMG and York. Coming through the final couple of corners he comes. Cam now toward the line. Is he going to go third? Comes across the line, he goes 4th. 29.6, a 2.5 improvement, and that is the transition to mediums and softs right there around here in Russia. CR7 out on top, Element second, but Cam puts himself into 4th and he's 500 clear of his teammate.
Yep, absolutely fantastic lap there from Cam Isotopic. Right now he a 10th up in the 10th and a half up in the first sector. He's just under 2 tenths up in the middle sector. So he's looking to get around the F1AMG Cam area. If he can hook up this final sector, he may put the likes of Matt Tibos under pressure for that provisional P3 as we come up now to the penultimate corner. Down into 4th gear, taking a good amount of entry and exit curve, and on the exit.
crashes himself out the session, and I nearly predicted it right. Isotopic in 5th, but he's out the session.
Yeah, and with the track, the track evolution around here is also a big factor as well. The track only gets faster and faster the deeper we go into qualifying here on this circuit especially. And I'm looking to see who is first up ahead on the outlaps. I think it is I think it's Wesker.
Yeah, I'm on board with Wesker coming out through the final couple of corners. I've just seen TDB's comment, by the way. I ain't talking about me winning either. Ain't happening for the rest of the season.
Well, don't talk the talk then.
Well, he is the championship leader, and some pressure is on him to try and deliver. 29.9, but you never know what's going to happen around here in Russia. But what we can talk about is plenty of improvements, I'm sure, through the final couple of laps as we see. A minute and a half to go in qualifying. CR7 and LMN have just left the pit lane. Wesker, however, coming through turn 4. Through the left-hander, on the Fish Stadium to the left-hand side, and now takes 7th gear all the way down to 4th, and now runs through in towards turn number 6. And this is a quick first sector from Wesker. 32.7, and he's 700 up on his time. Noisy getting plenty of support, by the way. Jack getting plenty of support as well in the comment section. But Wesker now coming through turn 8. Is he going to catch the curve coming through turns 9 and 10? Beautifully done from Wesker, coming out through turn 9, through turn 10, then toward the Olympic Village corner at turn 11, and just runs wide of the curb slightly, just taking a little bit of speed away, and he's now on the run down and towards turn 13, through the kink at 12, on the road toward 13, the roller coaster just far off into distance on the right hand side. 104.1, it's not the quickest middle sector we've seen at all so far this race, this qualifying session I should say. But Wesker now coming through turn 14, up the hill and towards 15. That rise is not really defined that much. He's coming up to traffic as well. He's got a Renault, I think, ahead of him. That might be Jack on an outlap. Special's already started his lap, so must be. As Wesker now comes out through the final couple of corners. I think he might go 10th with this. Comes across the line. And in fact, he's well off and he goes 14th, 130.4. I thought a little bit of wishful thinking would do me right there, but it hasn't.
Yeah. You was a little bit off in your first prediction. Was horribly wrong, I'd say. Jorg is, I think, the next man to cross the line, and he's 600 up in the middle sector. He does have Matt Tibos directly behind him, so it'll be interesting to see how these two get on as they come out into the final couple of corners.
Jorg 600's up, Matt Tibos is 1400's down. Sorry, go on.
I was about to say, Jorg just hitting the curve a little bit naughty there, and a bit of a snap, but it doesn't matter because he does improve by the 10th, and Matt Tibos, I think, did find a little bit of time, but not enough.
Yeah, he did. He found 6700ths of a second to be exact, and Matt Tibos goes up into 3rd. I wonder what LMN's doing. Oh, there's a spinner. That's F1AMG in the wall. F1AMG in the wall coming out. That's through turn 9, I think that is.
Chicken.
Through turn 10, and Funky Chicken goes up to 4th. All happening. LMN coming through the end of the middle sector. He's 200s down. CR7 toward the end of the middle sector. Noisy goes 3rd with a 29.4. It's all happening, but the guys I'm on board with are literally not near the final couple of corners. Sway around the final corner. He's not going to improve. Neither's Jack coming across the line. He would improve by 5/10 per second up towards 12th. CR7 and LMN. Is LMN going to try and improve ahead of CR7 here? Comes out through the final corner of the Dane. Can he get pole? No. 1300s down. CR7's a 10th and a half up, comes across the line, 29.1, a 2/10 improvement from CR7. The Portuguese man is on top in qualifying, unless Wesker can set a lap time, he can't. CR7, LMN and Noisy are your front 3, but let's just talk about CR7 once again, qualifying dominance.
Absolutely fantastic in the qualifying sessions from CR7 this season. And I'm not sure how many pole positions that is for him now this season.
It might be his 4th one, possibly.
If anyone knows in the chat, be sure to let us know. Our memories aren't as good as what they used to be.
Well, yours might be, Mike, but mine really isn't, to be honest. It is CR7 the man on top, Element second, Noisy in third, but just waiting on Wesker to retire in the pit lane. He duly does so. There's Sway we're on board with, just coming into the final couple of corners there. But CR7, masterful, out on track. Maze is going to check for us, by the way, in terms of his pole positions, but CR7 out on top. He is 3 1/4 tenths clear of the rest of the field. That is seriously impressive. Element is in second, Noisy in third, Matt Tibos in fourth, Funky Chicken in fifth, Cam in sixth with Isotopic seventh, Jorgen eighth, Jonas in ninth, and F1 AMG Division 3 champion in 10th. Zong on his debut in 11th, with TDB in 12th, a Beauty Boy 13th, Callboy 14th, Wesker 15th, Sway, Jack Special, same lap time actually by the two Reynolds in 17th and 18th, FPL Vessel not getting a lap time and of course crashing coming through turn number 6. CR7 the one on top, Element in second, Noisy in third, belting lap from pole position says Colin, and Funky Chicken saying my personal best was only a 0.8, which is quite disappointing. He actually improved 3 tenths per second though on his personal best.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic lap from Funky Chicken, and I'm quite pleased to see the Renault setting completely identical times.
Yeah, it gives me nice clarity, I think, to see the same lap time being set, but at least from 2 of the drivers out on track. But given that they're teammates as well, I think it's even more impressive, to be honest. CR7 has got some support from Jan Rodriguez, of course, in the comments section there as well. But better go into the formation lap. The roller coaster, as described it, of Sochi in TTML Division 1. The roller coaster you can see directly in front of the drivers. It's beautiful blue sky, sunshine, easy one stop.
Oh, absolutely. If you're not doing a one stop, then you've had a terrible race.
It is CR7's third pole position, by the way. Just had it confirmed by Maze in the comments. Element has got 3, and Isotopic's got 1. And look at the 2 men at the top of qualifying here tonight. CR7 followed by LMN. These two literally cannot be separated. Isotopic with his other pole position, he's all the way down in 7th tonight. So disappointing from the Ferrari man out on track. But CR7, LMN and Noisy are your top 3. And now we're on to the formation lap. Top 10, of course, qualifying on a set of soft compound tyres. Bit of a mix-up in the strategy. Callboy, Jack and Vettel all going for a set of softs further down the field. Zong, TDB, Beauty Boy, Wesker, Sway and Special on a set of mediums. Anybody jump out from further down the field, Mike?
I mean, I think Vettel starting on the softs definitely going to be one to keep our eyes on early on, because I think he's got pace here, but he just needs to keep it off the curbs as aggressive as he was in qualifying. I think he'd be making up some moves early on, but it's going to be interesting. I believe those starting on the softs will have a big advantage, because to my knowledge the mediums can pretty much do the entire race.
Mediums can go to about lap 20, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I've seen drivers get to lap 20, pit in for a set of softs very late on, but then they get cost because they're out for so long on a set of medium compounded tyre, maybe pitting in slightly earlier and then trying to get an undercut on the drivers ahead or the drivers behind. That remains to be seen, of course, but I'm sure softs can probably much get to about lap 9 if they're worn, to be honest. So I think they'll be going 18 laps at least on a set of mediums. But, like we saw with Amazing Hour last night in Brazil, of course, punctures can and probably will happen. And you never know what the tyre wear can do around here, of course, in Russia. But CR7, LMN and Noisy are your top 3. But I'm going to come to you, Mr. Michael Edwards. Who is your top 3?
I'm going to go for LMN for the victory, CR7 second, and you know what? I'm not going to predict Matt Tibos this week, because I feel like I've been cursing him. I'm going to go with the man, the myth, the legend, Funky Chicken.
And we've had 6 different winners this season so far as well, which makes it even more remarkable here in TTML Division 2. It's very similar to last season, I think. But I'm going to go for top 3, and I'm going to go CR7. I can't see anybody else winning this race. CR7 for the win. I think Noisy's going to finish second as long as he can keep his nose clean. And for third, I'm going to go for Tionis, down in 9th position. He might have a really good race here, but it remains to be seen. But the 5 red lights are about to go out here, of course, in Russia. Round 7 of the championship is about to begin. long hold, but it's light turn away we go, and CR7 is electric from the start. Noisy is electric as well, but Element's got the best second phase of the start, and he is side by side, running with the Haas, running down in towards turn 2. Red Bull and Haas going side by side, down in towards turn number 2. Who's going to come out on top? It's CR7, barely. Element gets caught on the curb on the inside. A little bit of Constantino effect further down the field as well. Tionis has been caught up in a slight incident as well. A Pewdie Boy and Wesker dropping down the field, but CR7 leads the way. Element in second. There's a lot of position changes happening further down the field, but CR7 holds on to the lead of the race. Cam and Isotopic get caught on each other, coming out the middle sector, and there's a crash in the background, and that's special into the wall. Special into the wall. A Pewdie Boy and Jack all up in that as well. VSE deployed. And Zong has got a penalty, I think, for hitting TDB.
Yeah, and obviously at the start I decided to jump on board with Vettel, so I thought he would have a brilliant start. He's had a fantastic start, starting from last all the way up into 12th now, and I just saw a bit of wing damage fly off at the turn 2 of a car ahead, and the car's just parting like the Red Sea, and as if Vettel was Moses himself walking through it.
He probably thinks he is Moses out, given how lucky he's been on this first lap, but it's CR7 who holds on to the lead. Element second, Noisy in third, so the top 3 remain as they are. TDB is side by side with Isotopic though, and has clean sailed him around the outside. There's the championship leader going past the nearest man on. Isotopic nearly gets caught on the curb on the outside. Zong has now gone through on this as well, but Isotopic is side by side. The camera angles were very fortunate with me. Isotopic's back through on Zong, and Zong I think has got barely any damage on that car, but he is struggling for a bit of pace. Yorg is right on the back of him, Callboy right on the back. We get a graphic slip, but it's hunting now at this moment in time. CR7 leads, it's 0.8 of a second, running down in towards turn number 2 once again for the second time. Element is in second, Noisy in third, Funky Chicken in fourth, Matt Tibos in fifth, and Matt Tibos actually right on the back of Funky Chicken. Looks to the inside line, coming around the hairpin at 4. Callboy, I think, is trying to get past Vettel in all of this as well. Further down the field, the Haas and the AlphaTauri nearly going side by side, coming through turn number 4, now through turn 5. F1AMG has lost out a hell of a lot of positions as well. Further down the field, and he gets caught in a little bit of a mistake along with Tionis. Tionis is now down into 15th at this stage. F1AMG is through, he's into 14th. But CR7 has led the way from LMN in second. Sway is looking right onto the back of Callboy. That is a graphics glitch though. 0.03 of a second is not the gap, it's more like a second. Yeah,
we're just waiting for these graphics to sort themselves out, and honestly the new game can't get you quick enough. Hopefully the spectator on the new game will be a lot more easier to follow, shall we say.
And there's a few reprimands coming, by the way, for some of the guys from the task system. Zong is one of them. He hasn't got his task set to public, it seems. Yorg's trying to look to the inside of him, though, but I think Zong is going to hold him up for now in 9th position. So he's going to be getting a reprimand. And also, down in 14th, F1AMG is going to be getting a reprimand. I can say that with complete and utter confidence. Vettel looks to the inside line of Yorg, trying to get the move done down in towards turn 18, but doesn't get the move done. Tionis and Pewdie Boy fighting side by side. Tionis, in fact, is into the pit lane. Yorg now right on the back of Zong, and immediately the DRS is now deployed. Don't think we're going to see any moves here. Vessel's on the back of Yorg. He's trying to close him down in towards turn 2, but Yorg is right on the back of Zong, closer to the inside line. The two Dutchmen fight side by side through turn 2. Zong gets caught on the inside curve, and now Vettel, yeah, around the outside he comes. Yorg is now through, but look at Zong. Zong is going to try and fight, and Vettel's going to try and sail around the outside. This is brilliant from the German. Down the inside line, can he get the car stopped? He can! Zong is wide, but brilliant move by Vettel. That takes an utter commitment move. And Vettel is doing, he's into 10th. He's got balls of steel out on track for completing that move.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic move from Vettel there. Gets himself right into the top 10, and with him being right on the back of York, is going to be a relatively comfortable DRS now to close up in this final sector, and then should be a turn 2 overtake for the man in the Haas, the German Vettel.
Yeah, you'd like to imagine so. Further up the field as well, Noisy applying a bit of pressure to LMN. Matt Tibos is on the back of Funky Chicken. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, by the way, so I apologise if I do halfway through commentary. But CR7 leads the way, LMN in second, Noisy in third. Noisy a bit of a lock up there in towards 17, but not too much. In terms of the tyres, actually, Zong is dropping down the field even further Cowboy is now through on Zong into P11, and Zong is really under the Koshi as Sway right on the back of him as well, running across the line. I don't think Vettel's going to be close enough to the back of Jorg. Zong might be on the back of Cowboy down in towards turn 2. I think we're going to see everything as it is. In fact, Isotopic dives it down the outside line of TDB. Gets the move done, but TDB, tries to go all the way around the outside now, but Isotopic is through, and TDB, I think, realised that Isotopic was going to try and come across them, sort of like a Matsushita style in F2, where, of course, they had a clash. It was him and Aiken, I think, that had a clash, of course, back in the day. But TDB and Isotopic, TDB, I think, gave him room, because Isotopic, I think, off an off-camber corner, Isotopic was going to move to the right-hand side and put TDB out there anyway. So TDB, I think, realised the inevitable, which didn't actually happen.
Yeah, not only that, I think TDB, being a little bit smart there, he knows that he's not really going to be able to fight around the outside on those mediums against those softs at this stage in the race. He's going to hope Isotopic can have a bit of pace, close up to the back of Cam, but soon the DRS train up ahead, it'll be very difficult for Isotopic to close up to the back of that pack.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. I think he's in 7th position. TDB in 8th. We'll begin to see the switch, of course, from the softs to the mediums around about lap 9. From around then, I would think, the tyres will begin to go off, and then the mediums will begin to come into play later on in this race. By the way, Tiona's got the move done on Wesker. That's what I rode on board with just then. Wesker is now down into 17th. Tiona's now up into 16th position. Last week's race winner, of course, out on track. F1 AMG on the back of Sway, showing as player 11 in the task system, but he is on the back of Sway, running down in towards turn number 2. Jack as well looks like he might be getting himself a reprimand for not setting his telemetry on correctly as well. But CR7 leads the way. Sway has a moment coming out through turn 3. I wonder if F1 AMG's going to fancy his chances here, as a lot of lag just came from his end. He's on the back of Sway, but he's not close enough.
Nope, not close enough this time around for F1 AMG, as we see Cam picking up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, and I think that's going to be a common thing we're going to see as we go further into this race. I'm expecting to see a lot of 3-second time penalties, and if anyone gets through this race without a 3-second time penalty, fair play.
Fair play indeed. Cam right on the back of Matt Tibbles. Matt Tibbles just made a mistake, and here comes Cam to the inside line. Matt Tibbles is going to push him all the way nearly into the wall. Cam is not going to go for this move, I don't think. Matt Tibbles is lagging as well. So Matt Tibbles stays in 5th, Cam in 6th. If they didn't lean on each other there, I think there might have just been a little bit more contact and it could have ended up a different way. But Matt Tibbles is through. He's still in 5th position, Cam in 6th, and they are actually gaining away from Isotopic, who's leading the next group of cars. TDP, Jorg and Vettel involved in that battle. But CR7 leads, lap 6 out of 27, leads the way, 1.9 seconds, and he's got ultimate control of this race, and he's got 30% more than LMN as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking now at the gap. Isotopic was at 1.6 behind Cam as they cross the line, is 1.9 as they go into turn 2, and that's the power of DRS. Isotopic does not have it and Cam does, and I think that's really gonna hinder any chances of Isotopic really closing up, unless he does something with the strategy, maybe go for an undercut on these guys up ahead.
Yeah, TDB's right on the back of Isotopic, just hops over the curb, left slightly the Ferrari, and now the McLaren right on the back of Isotopic, of course, out on track and coming into tonight. Both of these are first 2 in the standings, as well as TDB right on the back of his nearest championship rival, and how TDB would want to get ahead of Isotopic to try and give him a little bit of a buffer, a little bit more of an advantage further into this championship. Noisy, by the way, is in 3rd at the minute, so he's going to be gaining big time on the front 2, and he's going to be gaining something like maybe even 10 points, something like that. Noisy, and it could swing maybe if he stays on the back of LMN, and if he gets past him, this could swing completely into Noisy's favour.
Yeah, I mean, not only have you got Noisy at the moment looking to gain some big points, we've got LMN and CR7 looking to gain massively. All 3 of these drivers are in the top 6 in the championship, and they are less than a race win behind TDB, and they can really cut that gap down drastically here.
Neatly done. This is a crossover into TDB. TDB now to the inside line of Isotopic. We'll get the move done. He'll cut across to defend the position. And TDB is through. An extra point. It's now gained for TDB and he's through. And he's into 7th position and made it look very easy indeed.
Yeah, TDB was patient. He waited for his opportunity and it came. Got the move done. And now on the back of Isotopic, he's got a pretty punchy Alfa Romeo and Haas behind him. It's the 3 Ferrari engine powered cars, line the stern on track, and we'll love to see it.
You do love to see it, of course, out on track. Matt Tibbles is trying to get onto the back of Funky Chicken and all of this as well. Jorg run on the back of Isotopic, but on track, CR7 is just dominant. It's 2.93 seconds the gap, and I said literally at the start when predict now a top 3, that CR7 would be the man to beat. I couldn't see anybody else winning this race. I remain by that fact 7 laps in, because CR7 is just seriously impressive. I don't think he's even breaking sweat out on track. I mean, he's got 78% ERS. Element's got 46%. And Element's losing time to CR7. And it just comes to show that I think the stewards might have got it wrong in terms of his placement, because he's in Division 2 now. But is he going to be in Division 2 for much longer? Because CR7 leads the way. Element in second, Noisy in third. Noisy trying to get onto the back. But Isotopic into the pit lane. He's the first of the soft runners to come in on the end of lap 7. On set of mediums, he'll go for 20 laps.
Yeah, and I think he'll come out well ahead of his teammate Tionis. So no threat from behind. And he'll have a lot of clear air ahead of him to try and push into.
Yeah, he'll come out miles ahead. Jonas is on the other side of the track. I mean, Isotopic's just coming towards the pit lane exit now, so I think that's about 12 seconds the gap possibly between Isotopic and Tionis. We'll come across the line to see what that gap actually is, but it is whittling its way down. And it's, oh, that was close. It's 11 seconds, pretty much, the gap out on track, so not too far off. CR7 leads the way. Element in second. I'm one with Funky Chicken, though. Funky Chicken is on the back of Noisy. Cam is getting onto the back of Matt Tibos as well. And Cam, actually, really good to see. Actually, he might have just taken on board our advice from the last couple of weeks. He's got 25% ERS. Matt Tibos has run at the same limit as him, currently out on track. They're losing time to the likes of Noisy and Funky Chicken, but they may as well save their ERS and work together to just latch onto the back and pretty much end this up to be a big ERS trade. And I wonder actually if the leaders are going to come in. LMN is going to come into the pit lane from second, so LMN is in. Cam is coming in as well, but LMN into the pit lane. We'll try and run above with him. There he is, coming into the pit lane. This should be an easy set of mediums, but I wonder where he's going to come out in the whole grand scheme of things in terms of Isotopic. He goes onto a set of mediums. Cam also onto a set of mediums. Callboy also into the pit. Surely going to go for a set of mediums as well, but LMN is in 11th position. Vettel, by the way, is going to get past York down the inside line, down in towards turn 2 I should say. Vettel is through, picks up a 3-second Tommy. I don't think he'll matter with that at all. Job done. He's through and he's into 6th.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how much Isotopic has closed up, and it doesn't appear that he's closed up enough. He's 3.5, 3.6 seconds off the back of Cam.
Yeah, 3.6 seconds for Isotopic. It's disappointing. I think he would have made pretty much a little bit more ground than that, but it just comes to show how far these softs can actually run going into this first stint. CR7 leading the way. Noisy second, Funky Chicken in third. Jorg is going to try and reclaim the position back from Vettel. 6th and 7th running down the straight. I don't think they're going to be quite close enough. It is still the Portuguese man, of course, out on track. Out on track, not out on truck. CR7 leading the way. Noisy second. Funky Chicken in third. Sway right on the back of Zong.
Yeah, as we got the top 3 into the pits, Matt Tibos stays out for another lap. Maybe hoping for a VSC or something?
Yeah, you'd like to imagine so. TDB as well on set of mediums to try and close up onto the back of Matt Tibos, given that he's 1.8 seconds behind. But CR7 now into the pit lane. He goes on to a set of medium compound tyres, and now he will go to the end of the race. LMN, by the way, is only coming out through turn 17. CR7, I think, has gained more compared to LMN. And CR7's going to be out around the same gap, I think, coming out the pit lane. It's 4 seconds, I would say, the gap. CR7 has gained time. LMN is 3.2 seconds behind. So actually, in the whole grand scheme of things, Zong and that Sway side by side. I thought F1MG was getting involved in that as well. And it's 3 wide down and towards turn 6. Down the inside line he goes. F1AMG. Oh my god, what an impossible move. He's down the inside line on both of them. Yellow flag in sector 1. Jack's out the race. He's retired into the pit lane. Oh my god. F1AMG. Take your hat off to him. That's one of the most insanest moves I think I've ever seen. Sway and Zong have remained in position. F1AMG's just getting 2 for the price of 1. That's an absolute insane move.
I think F1AMG has been the boots this week because he bought 1 and he got 1 free.
How on earth has he completed that? I know he's on a set of soft compounded tyres, but surely you would imagine that the mediums are fresher at this stage compared to a set of softs. He got such a good run coming out through turn 5. I wish we had a replay cam for that, because I'd love to see it once again. He's staying out another lap to try and gain more time off the back of Sway. Jack has left the session. We thank him, though, for attending. F1AMG, though, with maybe one of the most insanest moves I think I've ever seen. Dumping it down both Sway and Zong's inside. Sway got caught on Zong, by the way, on the exit, and Sway's remained in position off the back of Zong. F1MG, it was mad, it was mental, but it worked. CR7's right on the back of Beauty Boy, running down the straight down in towards turn 2. CR7 is going to be through in a Beauty Boy, and he's through and he's into 5th.
Yeah, absolutely, but here comes a Beauty Boy, trying to come back. He used a little bit of ERS, but he's just not going to have the grip compared to CR7 to really attack him. Going into turn 4.
Turn 6. Yeah, out of the exit through turn 4. I get what you mean there. The Beauty Boy on the back of CR7 now through in towards turn number 8. There's a helicopter flying, by the way, over my house at this moment in time, so I hope you can't hear that. TDB leads the way, F1AMG in 2nd, Sway in 3rd, and no, before you ask, they're not coming for me, sadly. TDB leading the way, F1AMG in 2nd, but F1AMG, he's 7 tenths ahead now of Sway. He's out on a set of soft compounded tyre. He's going to be way fresher in terms of the mediums towards the end of the race. He's going to be around maybe isotopic sort of area when he comes out the pits.
I have to wait and see. He may peel off into the pits on this lap, and yes, he does. He pulls to the inside, and I guess we'll find out how close he is relative to the likes of Vettel and Isotopic in a few moments. Of course, Jorg also in that battle as well. Going to be very interesting.
It is. Vettel picks up another 3-second time penalty, but F1AMG into the pit lane. I think he's going to come out maybe just behind the Ferraris out on track. Isotopic, Vettel and Jorg are just coming through shot now. He's going to be behind Callboy, I think is what we can say now for confidence. F1AMG's behind Callboy, coming out the pit lane, but he is in clear air. Vettel right on the back of Isotopic, and in fact he's through on Isotopic. That was very poor camera work by the game there. Vettel is through and he's into P11. Isotopic into P12, and we need to get ourselves an independent broadcaster by those camera angles there.
Yeah, but let's not get the same ones as the actual F1.
Definitely not in Monaco's case, that's for sure. TDB leading the way. Sway in 2nd, Zong in 3rd. CR7, 5.4 seconds off the back of Zong, catching all the time, pulling away from her Beauty Boy all the time, and the gap's 4.3 seconds to LMN. Out on track. It's seriously impressive stuff from CR7. Out on track. Noisy and Cam, though, look like to be the battle running down the straight. Cam uses up that overtake mode. He's got to save up the overtake mode. He's got to save up the ERS. He's derating now down the straight, but I don't think he even cares. He's going to look to the inside line down in towards 13. He's entitled to dive it down the inside line. And I don't think he should have, to be honest. I think Noisy have every intention to hold off the move, and now Funky Chicken getting involved in this as well. But Noisy hangs on for 7th. Cam maybe just trying a bit of an aggressive move there to try and put Noisy off. But Noisy, we've seen it last season in Mexico as my voice begins to go. We saw it with him and Gary last season in Mexico. Noisy does like to fight, and fight aggressively he will.
Yeah, absolutely. And now what we're going to see is Cam no ERS now on this straight down into turn 2, and Funky Chicken if he wanted to, he could have used up an extra 20% DRS and he might have got the move done on Cam there.
Yolks just got the move done on Nicer Topic as well. Beautiful move down the inside end towards turn 2. Very late on the brakes. Job done for Jorg, and he's into 12th position on a fresh set of mediums. Currently that is a net P8 from him out on track. Vessel is ahead of him by about 7/10 per second. Matt Tibos, very unlucky so far this season. He's holding his own now against the guys, but we've got a 4-car train. Pretty much, in fact, it's a 6-car train. I miscounted completely. I need to go back to Key Stage 2, I think, with that one. LMN is on the back of a PewDieBoy. PewDieBoy is basically holding all these guys up, and LMN is going to be the first man to try and gain, but Noisy looks to be on the back of LMN as well. Running down the straight, I don't think we're going to see any moves done down the straight here, but a PewDieBoy is holding these guys up big time. And look at the gap, CR7, 4.6, 4.7 seconds, gaining every single corner.
Yeah, especially in this final sector. Just look at the amount of time these guys are dropping to CR7 out ahead just in this final sector alone.
It's 5 seconds the gap. Is what it is now. It's 5 seconds the gap between CR7 and LMN, and I can't see, unless there's a safety car, LMN getting involved in this race now. It's going to be him, Noisy, and Cam, maybe fighting out for the podium. And now, speaking of Noisy and LMN, they're going to try and fight down in towards turn 1. LMN will shoot it down the inside line of a PewDieBoy. A PewDieBoy locks up, and that's worst case scenario for Noisy because Cam is right on the inside of him. LMN, in fact, has made a mistake, and now, look at this, it's 2x2. Noah's Ark formation they go through turn 4, and a PewDieBoy hangs on his own. Down the inside line, Cam tries to get the elbows out. Noisy as well, trying to get the elbows out. Funky Chicken is through. This could end up in absolute chaos. LMN is down the inside line, gets the move done into 5th. Funky Chicken and Cam are having a fight. Noisy Matt Tibbles joining in on this as well. My goodness me, this race has just completely kicked off as Cam has clean sailed it around the outside of Funky Chicken. Brilliant move by Cam.
Yeah, fantastic, and Cam is in dire need of saving his ERS now, especially in this final sector. He runs wide, picks up sorry, that's Funky Chicken that picks up a time penalty there. I'm not sure if Cam also picked one up. No, he definitely ran over the track, in would say.
Yeah, he might have picked up a warning maybe from that, but we are halfway through. It's TDB who leads the way, Sway in 2nd, Zong in 3rd. Zong and his debut doing a really good job, I've got to say, in the Racing Point. CR7 in 4th. LMN, though, is now free of a PewDieBoy. Luckily for him, but unluckily for him, a PewDieBoy's still within DRS range on the back of LMN, and he cannot shrug him off at all. Cam is going to get aggressive here on the back of a PewDieBoy, and all of this is going to do is going to bring Funky Chicken, Noisy, and Matt Tibos, literally as I've just said that, right into play, as Cam is now right on the back of PewDieBoy, running down the straight, but look at him, derating down the straight. A PewDieBoy just pulls away, and look at Funky Chicken. He's now closing in right up to the back of Cam, doesn't lunge it down into the inside of turn 2. Cam very late on the brakes, still on the back of a PewDieBoy. I wonder if he's going to try an outside move into 4, but he's not close enough. A PewDieBoy with that DRS, with that extra ERS, with hardly any grip on those tyres, is pulling away from Cam. Cam needs to save overtake. He needs to save ERS now.
Cam, he used all of his overtake to get past Noisy. He has nothing left, and he's struggling out there. Overtake a PewDieBoy who's on 9-lap older medium compound tyres, and PewDieBoy will definitely be pitting soon, but the longer Cam stays behind this McLaren, the less likely he will be.
Look at Funky Chicken. Here comes Funky Chicken right on the back of him. Switches to the outside line, and Cam has not saved up enough ERS. He's very late on the brakes, and my God, he was late on the brakes, and he still holds the position. But that could have ended up a different way there.
Yeah, Funky Chicken, enough awareness there to back out and see Cam was going deep into the corner, and smart decision there from Funky Chicken. And Cam needs to get past the PewDieBoy now.
He does, but look at him. He's got 17% ERS. This might be the time now for him to gain onto the back of a PewDieBoy. But look at a PewDieBoy. He's got enough ERS to try and hold him off. And look at Cam. Oh, he nearly runs into the back of him down the straight. Cam's now on the inside line. He switches. He's derating down the straight, but he's late on the brakes. Really good move again by Cam. Down the inside line. Noisy. Oh, my God. He nearly went in the wall. Noisy nearly went in the wall. And now Matt Tibos is going side by side with him. A PewDieBoy's back through on Cam. How's Cam managed to lose the position to Pewdie Boy. Tionis has retired in the pit lane, and now Cam's fighting back down the inside line. This is remarkable. Cam just sends it down the inside line. Has he finally got that move done? No! Her Pewdie Boy's on the inside line, uses overtake mode, and Cam holds him off, and that, I think, has sealed that. Cam is now through, and he's into 6th position. Her Pewdie Boy, though, you've got to give the guy credit for battling so hard. And yet so far, and now Cam can escape up the road, and Funky Chicken up next, Noisy up next, her Pewdie Boy, now it's going to be hunting hour.
Yeah, as Funky Chicken wastes little time getting
closing
past
speed. Sorry, I was just noticing the closing speed on Cam there.
Yeah, absolutely, and Funky Chicken wasting no time behind the McLaren whatsoever. So Cam is not getting away from Funky Chicken. And next up is TTG, Noisy, and Matt Tibos to try and get through.
Game changer now. TDB is into the pit lane. Onto a set of soft compound tyre go, and he's about to leave the pit lane, and he's going to be on the back of Isotopic, who is not entirely out of this as well. Noisy side by side with the Pewdie Boy running down the straight. Job done, I think, for Noisy down the straight here. Down into 2, gets the move done. He's through, and he's into 6th position. And Pewdie Boy now, there's only one way he's going, and it looks like he's going backwards with Matt Tibos on the back of him as well. And Matt Tibos, I thought he was going to try and sail it around the outside through 4 there, but he doesn't quite do a vessel move from earlier on. Matt Tibos though on the back of a Pewdie Boy, but now TDB on a set of soft compound tyre. What can he do on the back of Isotopic? He's right on the back of him now. In fact, he's not going to be on the back of him now. He's going to get the move done. Then in towards turn number 8, Cam picks up a penalty. TDB is through, and TDB's now clear of Isotopic, and TDB is on a fresh set of softs. It's one thing to get onto the back of another driver though, and it's another thing to overtake.
Yeah, absolutely, and looking ahead as Matt Tibos said,
3 wide.
Here goes York.
Could he get both of them? He's on the outside line. Matt Tibos on the inside line. York's going to be very late on the brakes if he tries to seal this off. No, he doesn't. Matt Tibos very late on the brakes. He didn't want to give up that position lightly, and Matt Tibos is through. And he's into 7th. York is through, and he's into 8th. So they're both game positions and all that. A Pewdie Boy, Vettel, TDB into the pit lane. Sway was not that far behind TDB before he came into the pit lane. A Pewdie Boy is finally coming into the pit lane. Takes off the bollard, I think, for good measure there. But he's into the pit lane finally. TDB, though, on the back of Vettel, and TDB is the one that is going to be gaining big time in this race.
Yeah, but as I believe TDB, yep, he's on the back of this train. This train from P3 all the way down to P9.
In fact, it's pretty much P2 all the way down to P9, to be honest, because Cam looks like he's catching LMN as well. Unbelievable.
I'm not gonna lie, the gap's look pretty stagnant.
It's TDB.
Here goes TDB down the inside.
Oh, leans on him, forced him out wide. But to be honest, Vettel gave him the room on the inside line. I think that's fair. TDB is through on a fresh set of softs, and he's through, and he's into 8th position. He ran him out wide, but he got invited there.
Yep, and for TDB, getting through these cars is absolutely critical. He needs to use the grip of these soft tyres to good effect in Sector 2
no way.
and Sector 3.
No way! Dives it down the inside line! This is ruthless from TDB here tonight. Round the outside line he goes, gets the move done, but if I've got to be honest, I think he should give up that position, because I don't think that was clean.
A bit of wheel banging there between York and TDB there on the entry into turn 13, and even on the exit of turn 14 there, as TDB sets a new fastest lap, and now he's on the back of Matt Tibos. He's not going to be close enough to have a look down the inside into turn 2, but we've seen him go for a dive. He's having a peak.
Turn 4.
Better with it though.
Turn 4, if he gets a really good exit here, he's going to use up the overtake mode to try and close up onto the back of Matt Tibos. He could fancy his chances, but he's running out of time, and I don't think he will. Maybe down in towards turn 6, I think, might be the way to go. And again, I don't think he's close enough. I think he'll wait to the straight this time around. But if you have just tuned in, CR7 is dominant. 6.9 seconds is the gap, and he's still pulling away from LMN. LMN now is at the head of the train, and it's splitting into two pretty much, with Jorg now dropping off the back of TDB. And speaking of TDB, he's right on the back of Matt Tibos, coming out through turn 10. Oh, there's a crash further down the field, and the Funky Chicken into Cam. Both getting caught in each other, and Cam is in the wall, but he got caught up in an instant with Funky Chicken there. I'm certain there was a Racing Point leaning on the Mercedes. I saw that right in the foreground of shot. TDB, though, is going to launch it on Matt Tibos down the inside line. Can he get the car stopped this time? Yes, he can. Beautiful stuff from TDB. He's now through and he's into fifth position. All of that spawned, I think, from maybe Cam making a mistake. Funky Chicken definitely got caught on him, and Funky Chicken remains third. Cam is all the way down in 13th. It'll be interesting to hear his thoughts on that, maybe within the Discord later on.
Yeah, because Cam now is definitely going to have to make a second pit stop as Noisy picks up a 3-second time penalty. And what this has done now, with both Funky Chicken and Noisy picking up the penalties, is pretty much almost gift wrapping a podium for TDB right now.
It is gift wrapping a podium, to be honest, and they'll be adding a bow tie and wrapping paper and everything to that, to be honest. F1MG, though, is through and he's into 10th position. Straight on board with TDB, though. He's on the back of Noisy, and Noisy is under sustained pressure from the championship leader. TDB is the one that's gaining big time in terms of the points, apart from CR7 and LMN, and now TDB is actually, no way is he going to try and go around the outside through turn 8. That would have been bold and brave, but he doesn't complete the move. But if I was TDB, I'd be looking to try and save up a little bit of EOS there. Cam, by the way, saying, honestly, no one's fault. I just lost the car. No one hit me at all. So it was Cam making a mistake. I thought it was Funky Chicken, so I apologise. That's my eyesight going wrong there.
Yeah, should have gone to Specsavers.
I'm wearing my glasses as well. If everyone saw a face cam of me, I'm wearing my glasses, but I think it was because it was a wide out camera angle. That's what it was, I think, and that's why I thought Funky Chicken might have got into the back of Cam. But it's good that Cam's clarified, and yeah, here comes TDB down the inside line. 17, turn 17, never an overtaking move, but TDB makes it look easy, thinking, you know what, I'm coming through. Noisy had no response, but I have a feeling Noisy's not going to like that, and he's now going to come back at TDB and launch one himself down in towards turn number 2. He's going to wait in behind. TDB now on the outside line, Noisy on the inside line, and actually TDB has just broken later than him and has just sailed it. Beautiful move.
Yeah, those soft tyres providing all the grip, all the traction that TDB needed there to make that defensive move work around the outside, outbraking, getting the car turned in, getting the traction as well. Fantastic defensive driving from TDB, but that is not going to be the end of it if Noisy has anything to say about it.
Yeah, Funky Chicken under pressure here. TDB on his way to Nando's, I think, to try and get this move done in towards P3. It's terrible. CR7 leads the way. Element in second. Funky Chicken in third. TDB in fourth. Somebody out there is probably going, James never change at this stage. CR7 leads the way. Element second. Funky Chicken in third, though. TDB in fourth. He's not close enough this time around. Down in towards turn 13. Not close enough. But the trials, the tribulations, the roller coaster of this circuit still about to unfold, and I wouldn't say TDB is ruled out over top 2 here, because LMN is 1.4, 1.5 seconds up the road. TDB is on the back of Funky Chicken, and he's going to get the move done regardless, I think, in towards turn 2. Even probably on the straight. And TDB will be on the back of LMN within a lap. TDB is going for second. I don't think he's got the pace to close up on CL7, because those tyres are now beginning to go. Switches to the outside line now. TDB's going to make this one look easy. Down the outside line, Funky Chicken will just come in inside, and TDB is through and he's into P3. Simple as that.
Yep, he's simple move here from TDB, and he's already on the back of LMN.
Just thought I'll reiterate his comment, by the way, that he said earlier on, directly to you, Mike. I ain't talking about me winning either. Ain't happening for the rest of the season. He's got an outside chance.
Yeah, he's just jinxing himself. You can't jinx yourself then double jinx yourself, because that's a lot of jinxes, and you can't deal with that.
double jinx, triple jinx, quadruple jinx, whatever is the case, TDB is on the back of LMN and he'd be hoping to try and squeeze every ounce of performance out of this McLaren, and he's going to sail it down the inside line in towards 13. It's seriously impressive from TDB. He has mullered his way through the field. Everyone else on a set of mediums as if they've been standing still for the last 10 or so laps from the pit stops. But CR7 is through, TDB in second, but now is the real task. It is now the hare against the tortoise.
Yeah, the question is, can TDB now close up enough to put CR7 under pressure? Lap 23 or 27, softs versus the mediums. If I was a better man, I'd say the gap is just a bit too big, but it's a good job that I haven't got no money on me right now to bet. Unless I could be a better man.
I've got a 5 pence in my pocket, which is very random to say on a stream, but I have got 5 pence in my pocket as I speak. CR7, yeah, 6.4 seconds. It looks to me as if the gap is just too much for TDB to close up, I think, now. Sway, by the way, got through on isotopic. He's through and he's into 9th position on that fresh set of softs. His next target is Vettel, 3.9 seconds up the road. And I think Sway's probably got an outside chance to try and get Vettel before the end of the race. It's 3.8 seconds the gap. He's in clear air. TDB is in clear air. 6.3 seconds as Zong has retired, coming out through turn 5. Is that going to be a safety car? Oh, the game ruins us. It's a VSC.
Now, if that was a full course safety car, then that would really spice up these final few laps.
I was wishing it was, to be honest. I was wishing it was. The car has already been cleared up magically by the code in this game. And Wesker coming out through turn 5. You can actually see a little bit of front wing damage there on the right side where he's actually hit the wall. And Wesker is now into P14. 5 DNFs now out on track. Zong, Cam, Tionis, Jack and Special. CR7 though leading the way. The last time that there was a VSC was Belgium. He sped under the VSC on the restart. I'm not preempting anything, but it could happen again for CR7. It's TDB in second, Element in third. This time around, though, it's perfect. And Noisy is the one that's actually got the better restart out of everyone. He's on the back of Funky Chicken, running down the straight. Is he looking to get the move done? See outside line he goes. And Noisy is through, and he's into P4. Funky Chicken will not make himself look like an absolute mug there, but Noisy is through, and he's into P4. Jump done for Noisy. Funky Chicken trying to get onto the back of him, not close enough though. Matt Tibos is not entirely out of this either.
No, Matt Tibos is right on the back. He's going to jump both Funky Chicken and Noisy on penalties as it stands right now. But one penalty for LMN could give Matt Tibos that glimmer of hope of a podium.
Luke, by the way, has mentioned in the comment section, which is why I was laughing slightly. One more of those puns and I hit end stream as Funky Chicken is off! Funky Chicken is off, gone straight on, coming through turn 10. Might have got caught out on the marbles, possibly, and Vettel has hit the back of him as well. I'm not sure if there's damage there for Vettel, but Vettel is through and he's into 7. Funky Chicken now all the way down in 8th position. He was behind Noisy at the time of that. I think he lost it by himself more than anything else, and Funky Chicken now down in 8th position. Vettel through and he's into 7th.
Yep, Vettel up into 7th. It's been a fantastic drive for Vettel from 19th to 7th as it stands right now. Lap 25 of 27. We've got 3 more laps to go. TDB, as we predicted, isn't closing in enough, and he's not really closing in anymore. It's just stagnated a little bit.
Yeah, he's losing time, in fact, down the straights. I think TDB has now reached his peak performance in terms of the softs. They only last around 6 laps around here before they begin to ebb off. And it could be the case, actually, that LMN, that 2.2 second gap as it is at this stage, that could be whittled down to under a second in just 2 laps' time. Because LMN will have suddenly the pace to close back in on the back of TDB. But whether that happens is a different thing. 2.5 laps to go if you're being picky. CR7 leads the way, TDB in second, Element in third. Of course, we've got more action to come for you on League Racing TV, and of course that is on Friday night. Tomorrow night, of course, TTML Division 4 with Paco Suarez and myself, and Division 5 it is Pariah and James Boyle taking you through the action. So hopefully you'll be able to tune in for that, and if you're missing the action, of course, from Division 3, you can watch that back later because they're live synchronously with us. CR7 they'll lead the way, TDB in second, Element in third. Is that our podium, or is Matt Tibos and Noisy going to have some sort of say?
It's interesting because one penalty could really change everything here.
Yeah, Noisy's in fourth. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, well, maybe not for CR7 because he's got 2 3-second time penalties worth of a gap, so he can kind of afford one at this stage. But yeah, a penalty for Element would not only knock him off the podium, I think it would put him from P3 down to P5.
It will, and in fact I think it could even bring Jorg into play possibly as well. Sway's on the outside line here, a Funky Chicken run down in towards turn 2, doesn't get the move done, but Sway now going to try and knock to the outside line. He's running out of ERS, 8%, Funky Chicken's got 25%, so you would imagine that the Racing Point will hold his own. But Sway has now hit the brick wall. Can he try and get this move done now? On the back of Funky Chicken. He'll probably wait until the straight to do it. There's the penalties, by the way. Noisy on 3 seconds. Vettel 6. Funky Chicken on 6. Sway on 3. And Sway looking to try and get the move done. He doesn't need to get past because he's going to be ahead of Funky Chicken anyways. But he's right under the slipstream. It's pretty much like Indy 500 has suddenly came to Russia.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Sochi 500 as it is.
And here comes Sway. Oh, this is easy. Sway is going to look to the outside line. Funky Chicken's on the inside line. Job done for Sway. He is through and he's into 8th position. Surely Funky Chicken is not going to have a dive bomb down the inside line. Sway is through and he's into 8th position. Out on track. CR7 though, leading the way. TDB in second. LMN is not done with for a P3 here. Noisy's on the back. I know he's got 3 seconds, but Noisy's got pace, and Noisy might just throw a spanner into the works and maybe bring Matt Tibos intra-podium for the first time this season. Oh, and Noisy nearly hit the wall. Noisy out of the final corner, got caught on the outside curb, and that, I think, might just be that.
Well, we'll see. He is closing in rapidly with DRS, but he's not going to be close enough into turn 2. So you have to stick behind the Red Bull driver for at least this sector as they make their way around on their final lap of the race. And it's absolutely flown by, I'm not going to lie.
It has indeed, and Noisy has got very, very low fuel. Noisy might run out of fuel before the end of the race. Matt Tibos might. Jorg is fine. Jorg right on the back as a Pewdie Boy picks up another penalty further down the field. Noisy though, right on the back of Element. This is the battle we're going to focus on with for the rest of this lap. CR7 and TDB are your top 2, but is Element going to be in 3rd position? I think he might just hold off the back of Noisy here, but Noisy, he can throw a spanner into the works. Is he going to try and lunge this down in towards turn 13 if he's close enough? Look at the closing speed, closing in to the inside line. He'll want this. Noisy leans on him slightly. Element, a little bit of contact, and Matt Tibos is 7/10 off him, and this could still spawn either way. CR7, by the way, is through the final 2 corners out on track, and CR7, the Portuguese man, will win here in Russia. Fantastic dominant drive from him. TDB is in second. Sway has lost it very late on, and he's dropping down the field. TDB is across the line in second. Element barely gets third. Matt Tibos in fourth. Jorg in fifth. Noisy in sixth. Vettel in seventh. Funky Chicken in eighth. It looked like Sway might have got caught in a little bit of contact maybe with Vettel further up the field. Sway across the line to finish in P10. F1MG in P11. Cowboy spins the car through the final corner through 12. A Beauty Boy now coming across the line to finish in P13. Wesker will be the man we're going to wait till Christmas with. A Beauty Boy across the line crashes his way across the line, and Wesker now coming through the end of the middle sector. He's 8/10 up. The fastest lap of the race currently is a 1:32.1 from her Beauty Boy. Let's just monitor this and see if Wesker can actually set fastest lap of the race. 2.2 seconds, it looks on.
Yeah, definitely should be on. I'm just getting the invites ready. for the podium interviews.
Wesker's run out of ERS, coming through the final couple of quarters, through 16, through in towards 17 and 18. Is he going to set the fastest lap of the race? A 132.1. I think it's a 131 to be honest from Wesker. Comes out through the final corner, will come across the line now, and it's a 131.8, and he smashes his way, coming across the line into the McLaren and the AlphaTauri of Sway and of her beauty boy. Driver of the day awarded by the in-game fans though. TDB, yeah, I think driver of the day maybe goes to him.
Yeah, either TDB or Vettel.
But we've got to pick one.
We could go. We can't pick one.
We can. We've been told by Maze to pick one.
Maze, you mean?
I will go for my driver of the day. I'll go TDB for my driver of the day, purely because he was impressive in that second stint.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read the boring one and just say CR7. This we can't not put him in the conversation.
Oh, did we give it to CR7? Did we give it to TDB? What would you say? Pole position and the win, or 12th up to second?
I mean, I think Mace has just absolutely done us over here anyway. Like, you know.
He's going to have you for that one, I think. CR7 though has won. TDB in second, Element in third, Matt Tibbles in fourth, Jorgen fifth, Noisy in sixth, Isotopic seventh, Vettel in eighth, Funky Chicken in ninth, Sway ran off the top 10, F1MG in 11th, Cowboy in 12th, a Beauty Boy in 13th, Wesker 14th. Those are the finishers. Zong, Cam, Tionis, Jack and Special, both Reynolds, who set the same lap time in qualifying, both DNFing along with Tionis, Cam and Zong, who off the 5 DNFs out of this race. We had 7, I think, in Division 1. Very disappointing. But CR7 dominant, TDB second, Element in third, and we still haven't reached our driver of the day.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I like that idea. Luke in the chat, I like that. I like that. I rate what you just put in the chat.
I'll run a Twitter vote and let the people decide. Or I flip my 5 coin, and whether it lands on heads or tails, there we are. I've got my 5 coin here. I would record this, but yeah. What are you picking? Heads or tails? Heads is CR7 and tails is TDB.
Look, I'm gonna have to go with tails for Wales because it never fails. I can't not.
If you thought my puns were bad, that rhyming pattern was even worse, I think. I'm gonna flip the coin now. I hope I don't lose this coin, by the way. There we are. It has landed on, trying to see, heads. So it's CR7.
I mean, the coin's decided, but you know, I'm still hurt that you insulted my rhyming like that.
I think it's heads anyways, hang on. The light is running out in my bedroom at the minute. Yeah, it is heads. It is definitely heads. Oh, hang on, no, because the head's on the back of the coin, isn't it?
I don't know, I haven't seen a 5 piece in a long time. I just use my card now.
It's got the Queen's head on the back. And the 5 the emblem on the front. So I don't know.
I don't know. We'll trust the coin. We'll trust the heads.
I think we're gonna trust the people by the looks in the comment section. Oh god.
They're undecided. They're undecided.
Undecided. We could just put both of them in, but then that's defeating the object, isn't it? But there we are. I hope we are going to get some interviews in from TDB and from LMN. I'm not sure if they've joined the party. I don't think they have. I've just invited them, so that's brilliant. So hopefully we'll get them in, and hopefully we'll be able to hear from them, of course, from their thoughts from out on track. And hopefully they will be able to join. TDB has just joined, which I'm glad to report. LMN is here. I wonder if we're going to get CR7 in for an interview. Maybe. I'll tell you what, we'll go to the man who finished in P3 first, and then give a chance to CR7 if he's going to come in to the commentary box. But LMN, the man who finished in 3rd position out on track, is here. The Dane once again very lucky in terms of the racing out on track. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, it was quite boring to be fair. Yeah, TMC, he was too fast. I think the man should be in D1, but that's another talk. So yeah, that was just no grip. I felt just like drying on ice, to be honest. So it was not pretty to drive today.
Yeah, very decent drive from you, of course, out on track. Talk us through those two VSCs, though, because you were right on the back of TD. I think TDB might have been behind you under the second VSC. Did you feel that you had the pace on those tyres to try and last onto the back of him, or did you just want to try and let him go?
No, I didn't have the pace, to be honest, because he was on fresh soft and I was on old medium, so yeah. He had more pace, obviously, so I didn't have any grip to keep up with him. So, and I hate those wiggle safety cars as well. So, yeah, just not the best driving today.
Not the best drive, but it's your second podium of the season, actually. So you must be quite happy with that.
Yeah, it's quite okay. I'm satisfied in a way, but yeah, Russia is not quite my favorite track, so yeah, it is what it is.
Well, I'm glad we're moving on, of course, into next week's track, which I'll come on to in just a second. Mike, any questions?
I was just looking at the task and I realised that Element is the only person in tonight's race to not even receive one warning.
Yeah, I was trying hard to avoid track limits and yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say, with this track being so
Yeah.
vicious with track limits, how
Yeah, I did master it, so
I don't know how you manage it, but how do you do it?
yeah, it was hard, but yeah, just keep it on the road.
Yep, and it was brilliant, and obviously you stuck as close as you could with TDB, but those softs at the end just a little bit too much. Too much for you, it seemed.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that, so yes.
Guessing you're coming back to me then. Of course, next week, if I remind myself of the calendar, next week we do go to Mexico. How do you think you're going to get on around there?
Even worse. Yeah, it's probably worse than Sochi. So not looking forward to Mexico, but let's see if I can find some pace and a setup that I like. So hope I can get some points at least, but let's see how it pans out.
Yeah, let's see how it pans out indeed. Go and enjoy your evening though.
Thank you, you too.
Very welcome indeed. And TDB will move on to you next, of course. A P2 out on track from P12 on the grid. How on earth did you find your way through that traffic? I do not know. Talk us through the race.
I mean, before the race, I knew the alternative strategy around here it's incredible how good it is. And I definitely knew that. In my quali lap, I started sector 1, and I did not have a great of a lap, so I just gave my all and crashed. So on P12, I just avoided everyone on the start, which Russia's known for its start crashes and having very big ones. And luckily, I avoided that, and I just drove my laps after that, I guess, on the mediums, and then being on the softs as early as possible. And then it's always hard to make overtakes when in a DRS train. So there was a bit of contact on a few moves, which it was probably shown on stream as well, which people are not happy about. But I personally don't think I could have sat behind those guys on softs easily and waited for every DRS straight. Like it was a low ERS, and my tyres were dying. So, but how I will make my way through the field, I guess it's just trying to get on the back of the medium runners who are on all the tyres, trying to get on the back of them in the corner and just overtaking them in a spot where they don't expect it. I guess is the way I drove through the field.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned in commentary you were ruthless with your moves. If you felt, though, that you were still behind these guys going towards the final couple of laps of the race, would you have felt quite impatient to try and get the moves done?
I mean, I knew I had to get the moves on as soon as possible because my softs were... so at the start I was on mediums, of course, and everyone else was on softs. And I matched their pace around lap 7, so I knew within those first 7 laps my softs will be the best, and they will be so much better than those mediums, so I tried to make as much moves as possible there. And like I said before, my softs are having a lot of wear very quick, so I couldn't sit behind those guys for a long time, so I guess I was kind of impatient, but I don't regret making any of the moves. I think if we made minor contact, I guess, which I didn't crash anyone out or something, so I understand that people are mad, of course, that, but I have to make my way through the field, so I wouldn't say I was impatient, but I think if I would have been more patient, that my tyres would have just died off and I wouldn't have been able to get the position where I am right now.
Yeah, of course, you're finishing in second position. I think it's your 4th podium of the season as well. It must feel quite happy to go into Mexico, still being the championship leader and still extending your points gap.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I knew I had to extend today because Mexico is my second worst track on this game, I would say, but I am terrible there, so I'll be happy with a single point on Mexico even. So given by that knowledge, I knew I had to get as many points as I did today, so I'm quite happy with that result.
Should be very happy with that result. I'll pass you on to Mike, though.
Yeah, TDB, absolute overtake montage when you was on the sauce. I see that you had 2 warnings to your name. Did you pick those up overtaken and that? Was you in fear of that 3-second time penalty at the end?
No, 2 completely on my own. Just over pushing the car, I guess. I was afraid I had a notification glitch. I wasn't getting any because I thought I would have gotten 1 at the start and 1 at lap 3, but I didn't get any. So yeah, but I was afraid. Like I could have pushed harder if I knew I didn't have a notification glitch. But no, the 2 warnings were completely on my own.
And also, I had a second question. What was I going to ask?
We could be here all night, Mike.
You said my memory was better than yours. Give me a minute. I completely blacked out. I had a second question. I forgot it.
Dear me, we do forget our memory quite a lot, I think, here in TTML. But I think I've already asked you about the Mexico question, so I will let you go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome indeed. Has Mike finally found that second question?
No, Mike hasn't found nothing.
It's gone. Oh, there we are though. But that is the end for tonight, of course, here in TTML Division 2. We have, of course, had Division 3 running simultaneously alongside us. You can go and watch that back after this, of course. If you want to catch back on Division 1, you can on League Racing TV. But Division 4 and 5 coming up for you tomorrow night. There's myself and Paco Suarez. It is James Boyle and Pariah taking you through the action. What promises to be a very interesting night, of course, in Russia once again. And then we do it all over again next week. CWC F1 and F2 on Monday. Then we're back to TTML Division 1 around Mexico on Tuesday. Wednesday, there's no racing. Thursday, we're back, me and Mike. And then Friday, of course, we continue back on with TTML Division 4. Please stay safe, though, in this crazy world that we all live in. Are we finally going to agree a driver of the day, or shall we just leave it up to the people?
I reckon we got to leave it up to the people.
Yeah, leave it up to the people. I think that's probably the best way to spoil the bickering until about 10 o'clock at night, live on stream. Well, there we are. That is it then for tonight of TTR Division 2. Of course, I've been James Head. He's been Michael Edwards. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.